Okay, this sutta is Sutta 220, Madhurā. Madhurā. Bhikkhus, there are these 5 dangers in Madhurā. What 5? Number 1, it is uneven. Number 2, it is dusty. Number 3, its dogs are fierce. Number 4, it has wild spirits. Number 5, it is difficult to gain alms food there. These are the 5 dangers in Madhurā. It has a footnote. So this is the capital state of Surasena, situated on the Yamuna River in northern India. It later became an important center for Mula Savastivadana. Though the text makes the Buddha say he did not like the place, one wonders whether this sutta might be an interpolation inserted by the Vibhajavadins to denigrate the headquarters of their rival Buddhist school. Interesting background. So there's a few names mentioned, right? So this place, Madhurā, is the capital of the state of Surasena. So it is situated in the northern India, and this later became an important center for the Mula Savastivadana. Yeah. So a bit of context. What is Mula Savastivadana? So it is in Chinese 根本说一切有部. Yeah. So it is one of the school. Yeah. About 150 plus years after the Buddha passed away, there emerged initially 2 schools, 2 broad schools. Then each of them split into each of them have subdivisions of 9 each. So altogether 18 schools. Then later further into 36 schools. But usually in our tradition, we only mention about the 18 schools. So this the 2 main schools is, one is Theravada, one is Mahasangika, and this Mula Savastivadana is under Mahasangika, and they assert that all phenomena, past, future, and present, are all real and exist. Yeah. So a lot of the commentaries are from all these 18 schools. Yeah. So very interesting. Yeah. And so the footnote, the footnote by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi put a question that here the Buddha seemed to not like the place. Yeah. Actually, I don't know whether that is also true or not, because it's just a statement saying that there are all these problems there, right? So, being asked which page? This is the Anguttara Nikaya, Book 5, Sutta 220. The footnote is in page 1747. So the footnote says that though the text makes the Buddha say he did not like the place, well, in the first place, I don't look at the main text as the Buddha saying he don't like the place. He's just stating that there are these 5 dangers, right? It is uneven, it is dusty, its dogs are fierce. I thought this is interesting. Yeah. It has wild spirits. I know a lot of y'all are quite interested. Whenever you hear spirits, then talk about meditation. Wild spirits. This sutta have wild spirits. But sorry, behind no more. This is a very short sutta. I never talk anymore about the wild spirits. But from this and other suttas, we can see that in the Buddha's time, there are mention of spirits, wild or otherwise. So some people say that, actually in Buddhism we never talk about ghosts also. But then in this sutta and many sutta talk about spirits. So the translator, Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. Do you know Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi? Yeah, he's alive. He's a real person. Yeah, he's an American monk. He spent, I think, 40 years. He spent a long time in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Uh, so he's at this moment, I think he's among the recognized, like known as the foremost, one of the few foremost in Pali, translation. So he has translated many of the suttas in the Pali canon. What's interesting about some of his translation and other people's translation is he don't just look at the Pali text or from one particular branch. He actually look at the Pali text. Um, when we say Pali text, actually there's no Pali text. Yeah, for a bit of background, because Pali is a spoken language. So when we talk about Pali text, as in written text, it's either in Sinhalese, in Sanskrit, Sinhalese, in the Myanmar script, in Thai script, or Cambodian script. Yeah, that means the written text is always in something else, because Pali is in a spoken form. It's just like Hokkien don't Hokkien don't have its written form. So the Chinese character is unified for all the dialects in China, right? So in a way, each of them don't have their own written form. Although, although Hong Kong, in Hong Kong, right, some words like yao mo, right? The mo is basically yo without the stroke in between. Yeah. So that word don't is not in it's not really in use in normal Chinese. Yeah. So in a way, it has some characters of its own. Yeah. Some suggest that that is how certain things are written way back, and then the Cantonese they kind of retain that. So the thing is that as a result, right, when Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi do translation, and some of the modern translators, they actually refer to multiple scripts. And then on top of that, I read in some of the introduction, he actually um, uh, compare with the Chinese agamas also. Yeah, so to me, this gives a bit more credence to his translation and his thoughts. Yeah, but here he's quite interesting. He says that this may be something that is maybe an interpolation. He's not suggesting it is a artificial creation. Yeah, he's saying that it could be an interpolation. Yeah, that is inserted by the this is another school, Vibhajavadins. Yeah, Vibhajas. So this is another school, and then they are in loggerheads. So there are some schools that assert all things exist, some assert otherwise in different forms. Yeah. So that's a bit interesting. Yeah. The thing about dogs being fierce, I thought that is also quite because sometimes as Buddhists, we 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 tend to there's this notion that we don't change the environment, right? And that even if the place is difficult, you should just adapt to the environment, right? Even if there's fierce dogs, you should just go there. But, and you may think that, like what Venerable Bhikkhu suggests, this could be an interpolation, right? But in the Vinaya, it does say that certain places shouldn't be where monks stay. Yeah. 有难处有访处不 so places that has danger, yeah, uh, places that there are wild animals that is dangerous, places where there are bandits, places where the army always passes by, yeah. So you are exposing yourself to unnecessary risk. Yeah, that's why after ordaining, and then when I hear about some of the masters who go and stay in the forest, and then there are wild animals who will come and offer food and things like that. I'm like, while the Buddha, in the Buddha's time, they didn't stay in the forest, but they would avoid places that are dangerous. You know, yeah, I've heard stories about some monks I don't say which tradition. They stay in certain places and then they actually got attacked by wild animals. Yeah. Yeah. So I have a bit of question. Like in the teachings, we're supposed to avoid places with wild animals, but then the later generation, oh, yeah, we should be fearless of death. Uh, so interesting. Okay, so a bit of how I call it. Let you all have a bit of uh, overview of how things are in the Buddha's time. Okay, let me see. Before we get the Marcel, maybe you can pose the questions from Slido. But before that, Li Ying asks, how do we verify the authenticity of the suttas if rivaling schools with enough influence can just edit the suttas and make it the word of authority? Yeah. So, very quick one. For the full detail, you can go and search the past recordings. Yeah. So very simply, authenticity of the teachings of the suttas in Buddhism. So consider two different things, okay? One will be a drawing and one is a mathematical formula. Yeah. Authenticity of the drawing, um, or rather, value of the drawing comes from the authenticity of the drawing. And authenticity of a drawing comes from authorship. It means who drew this gives it value, right? Yeah, because if simply the fact that it is very nice, yeah, or it's very beautifully drawn gives it value, then you just take a picture of Picasso and then Picasso drawing, then you can sell it for millions, right? That doesn't work. Yeah. Whereas if you happen to find in your storeroom, you move house, you open your store, you clear your storeroom, then you find, this drawing, and although you are not an art connoisseur or whatever, but then you look at it, looks like the Starry Night, with all the swirling. Then you call up your friends, you post on Facebook, then suddenly, wow, not Asian civilization, National Museum people call you up. Ma'am, miss, uh, can we come and visit you? Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, if let's say they do a curation test, and then they do a sample, and then they get experts to come and study the style and everything, and maybe even do some scan, whatever. And they find that, wow, this is an more or less authentic piece, Then because of that, even if it's a bit broken, maybe precisely because it's a bit torn, wow, fetch millions of dollars, no? Yeah. And it may not be a perfect drawing, but it has value because of its authorship. So art is like that. Whereas if you look at science or maths, for example, same thing. Another time you move your house, yeah. I don't know why you have so many things in your storeroom, but let's say you move your house and then you find this cracked piece of towel, paper towel from Long John Silver. So it's a long time ago, and then maybe you don't know what is Long John Silver. Then you see, got some scribblings on it. Then you are about to throw away, but you decided you like to take photo and post on Instagram. Post on Instagram. Next thing you know, NTU, NUS, the researchers call you up. Miss, where do you get this formula? Yeah, that is the formula that solves the theory of everything. Yeah, we're gonna, if we can have your permission, we're gonna submit it to the whatever, to Geneva, whatever, and then they're going to do some calculation and get back. Well, next thing you know, wow, because of our calculation, they invented faster than light travel, hyperspace. They create warp speed and they manage to create unity power, so they can create more power than energy put in. Wow, you solve all the world's problem, and all the fight in mankind. At that point in time, then finally all the dust settle, then they interview you. So who wrote this formula? Then you're like, don't know, leh. Then after that, your your grandmother said, "Oh, your uncle when he was a kid, he just scribbled. Then I don't know what happened. I end up in the storeroom." Not some famous scientist, no. Yeah, not some famous scientist. But because of that, your uncle will get an honorary, will get multiple honorary titles. All the university will confer on him honorary professorship. Yeah. Why? Because for science, right, it depends on the efficacy of the formula, not on authorship. Yeah. So that's the difference in how things have value in different fields. That doesn't mean that art has no value. It just means that there's a different way of measuring value for art. So then the question is Buddhism art or science? As far as I'm concerned, and as far as the rest of Buddhism is concerned, uh, Buddhism is more science than art. Now, there may be some who disagree. Yeah, there may be some who disagree and say, no, it must be spoken by Buddha. Yeah. So then the question is it art or science? You think about it. If now they found a manuscript of Albert Einstein, right? Then of course by default you have more value because his words have been proven to be of value, right? But still they will examine the manuscript to see whether it has value, yeah, scientifically. So there may be the case where they find certain writings and it's the draft copy of his his paper on general special relativity. So because it's a draft, it makes no sense and it doesn't work. Yeah, but and so scientifically it has no value. Yeah, it may not have value, but for there are the people who will find value in it because it's written by Albert Einstein. So it's a different kind of value. Yeah. So there are some Buddhists who will hold on to things because it is supposed to be able to be traced back to the Buddha, so it is seen as having value. So for example, Bodhi tree. And Bodhi tree all over the world, no? But if you go to the one in India, right? In India, and in India, what is that? Bodh Gaya or Bodhi Gaya. There's the Mahabodhi temple, yeah, and then there is this. There are two Bodhi trees there. One that is next to the temple, and then there's a fence around it, and then there's one that is outside, right? You'll find that a lot of pilgrims, a lot of Buddhists, when they go there, right? Wow, that place, have no Bodhi leaf on the ground one, you know. Very interesting. It's a very strange phenomenon. Somehow the Bodhi leaf, the moment it drop on the floor, it disappear. No, you know why? Because all the Buddhists chiong. Because they see value in it. Because it is supposed to be able to be traced all the way back to that Bodhi tree that was, at least is an offshoot from it, where the Buddha actually sat. But as to whether it's exactly there, I don't know. There are some believe that it's there, you know. Yeah. But the funny thing is, so I heard from I think Bante, he said, I think either Bante Dhammarata or one of the Bante, they said that actually both Bodhi tree, they are brother tree, you know, because they are being replanted from the sapling from Sri Lanka, because the one from Sri Lanka was brought over as a the sapling that they cut off and then they replant it. Yeah, it's from India, but the one in India was later on torn. So this is as original as it gets, and they planted two in case one don't grow. So both actually have the same age. But then because the one that's nearer to the temple is being fenced up, everybody, wow, if it happened to just float down, then all of them, but because Buddhist then go there, practice so cannot chill also, right? So it's quite funny. When we were there, we see the leaf going down there, there's like this, like the Western, Wild Wild West. Then everybody look at it. Then some people were just very coyly, quite funny. Yeah, but if you want Bodhi leaf, right? In Singapore, there are a few temples that has Bodhi leaf. Buddhist library has a Bodhi tree right in front. Leaf fall like nothing, nobody care. Huh? But from what I heard, that one in Buddhist library is actually a sapling from Sri Lanka also, the same one. So if you really value that kind of thing, right, then by right that would also have the same effect, right? Yeah, but because people don't know, so they don't value. You see the difference? Yeah, because they don't know that it's from that branch, so they don't value. Then there's one more in Syria, what is that? The one in Yunus, what is it called? Suddenly I cannot remember. Sri Lanka Ramaya? No, that one is St. Michael.
Mangala Vihara.
Yes, correct. Mangala Vihara. They also have one Bodhi tree. A few years ago, lightning strike fell down. I don't know whether they recover it. I think it was like not right lightning strike. Strong wind, then the tree collapsed. Yeah, I think it's restored. Yeah. There's one in Komingshan also. Oh, jialat. Tomorrow, for the next week, a lot of people go there and shop. Yeah. So even in Buddhism, there are those who value things that can be traced all the way back to the Buddha. That's as close as you get. What else? Relics, Buddha's relics, right? Buddha's relics. So you see that even in Buddhism, there are people who value such things, right? But if you ask me, the true relic of the Buddha is not his remnants, is not the Bodhi tree, Bodhi leaf, Bodhi whatever, is the Dharma, right? Yeah, and if you think about it, Buddha didn't speak English, but right? Buddha didn't even write down anything. Yeah, and so this is where the principle of the Dharma, because Dharma actually means principle. Yeah, it refers to the patterns, the principles that the Buddha saw. Yeah, and this is the thing that get us enlightened, which is the efficacy. And so in Buddhism, this is of more value. Yeah, whether a sutta has authenticity or not, this is how we verify. And that's why, even as Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi do the translation, he dared to put inside the footnote to say that this could be an interpolation. Yeah. To me, this instills more faith in me that in the text than take it away from it. Yeah, because it brings out the very essence, our attitude towards the teachings. We don't take it as like, because it's inside the text, so you die, close your eyes, you must accept it. Even if something is a bit question mark. No, we can question. Yeah, we can question. Yeah. Okay. And that's why, let me wrap this up. And that's why I keep on highlighting that when we read the suttas, we must always relate it back to our defilements. Yeah. Otherwise, we are going in the other direction, which is trying to ask questions to verify the authenticity in terms of art. Yeah, you can find a different kind of value. Yeah. I mean, for that matter, the fact that it's translated, then how you have to go and learn Pali, lor. Otherwise, how you know? Maybe Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi put in a lot of his own ideas. How you know, right? Yeah. But then I recently had this question mark. Even if you go and learn Pali, how do you learn Pali? How? You must learn from someone else who know the whole Pali language, or you learn in the class, and then you have a supporting what you call that aid, which is a dictionary, Pali to English dictionary. Who come out with the Pali English dictionary? Not the Buddha, not someone in the Buddha's time. Who come out with it? Modern people. So you still have someone who actually tell you how Pali works, ma. Yeah. So how do you know? Well, because enough people who know enough of Pali agree that it's more or less like that. Yeah. Unless unless it's not a 50-50, it's like, if it's like 50-50, then you'll be like, how come this religion like that? Yeah, so I used to have a lot of questions in this area also. Yeah. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have these questions. I think these questions are completely justifiable. Yeah. But you must know the limits of these questions. Yeah. That asking in this direction can only get you so far. Because to the point of authenticity of the text, if you go in the way of like art, you hit a certain roadblock where you can only say, yeah, with a 78% confidence level, that's all you can do. Yeah. But even if you get 99% confidence, that doesn't do anything for you as far as your happiness is concerned. So instead, I encourage students to go and test out the teachings in terms of using it in your life. Yeah. Now, to me, that is more fruitful. Okay. Let me answer this question from Slido. Hi, Shifu. Not on not giving unsolicited Dharma advice. A friend's hubby took up fishing, and I want to tell him it's a bad idea. Is this unsolicited Dharma advice? Yes. Yeah, the short answer is yes. So number one, it's not your hubby. Number two, it's not your friend. It's your friend's hubby. You are two-tier separated. It's like if it's your brother versus your second-tier cousin. Yeah. Yeah. If it's your brother, you can say things quite directly. If it's your cousin, a bit indirect. If it's your cousin's in-law, then a bit tricky. Yeah. If it's your cousin's in-law's cousin, other side already, then could be a bit tricky. Does it mean that we cannot give unsolicited advice, Dharma or otherwise? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that when something is unsolicited means that people never ask, you give. Yeah. When people never ask, you give, there are two possibilities. One is they actually need it. Two is they don't need it. And from these two, one is they need it, but they know. One is they need it and they don't know. The other one is they don't need it and they know they don't need it. And two, they don't know they don't need it. Yeah. So when you give unsolicited, it may be the case that they really need it, but they think they don't need it. So when you give it to them, they feel like your advice is useless. Yeah. Or you give it to them, if it's not solicited, it's the very low chance of success, much lesser chance of success. Yeah. So even though they don't ask for it, if they know that they need it and they know that what you tell them is useful, then this is the one case where it's useful. Yeah. Or they know that they need it and they ask you. Yeah. If they don't ask you, slim chance of success. So this is about whether something is solicited or not. Yeah. Not just Dharma advice, but any kind of advices. Yeah. For that matter, even material things, yeah, your friend never asked for anything, and then you just randomly buy something from Shopee, 10-cent deal, and then, hey, I bought this thing, you look at this, then your friend is like, accept, then got one more thing to take care of. Then reject, then afraid that you will hurt your feelings. Then a bit trickier. But if it's close friend, then they might just say, no, I think I have enough things. Yeah. So the trouble is, this is not your, I don't know who this is. So the trouble is, it's not your friend, and it's not a hubby, not your friend. Yeah, it's your friend's hubby. And so here it becomes trickier because it's your friend's hubby. Yeah. Unless the three of you know each other since young, otherwise you have to ask yourself, how do you tell your friend's hubby the advice? Yeah, your friend may become jealous and say, "Hey, why you text my hubby directly for? What's the problem? Huh? You're trying to get close to my hubby, is it?" Yeah. 近水楼台先得月. So, then what is the best way? Maybe I should just help you ask this partner. Is there a better way or a best way? I can't tell whether there's a best way. But perhaps you know your friend better, you know your friend's hobby better. Yeah. There are a lot of ways to approach this. But the first thing you want to make sure is that your relationship with your friend and your friend's hobby is good. Number one. Number two, your friend agree with you. Yeah, that fishing is not good. If your friend don't agree with you, the fact that your friend's hubby took up fishing, that means your friend's hubby think that fishing is good, ma. So if the two of them think that it's good, you try to go and tell them that fishing is bad, then you are asking for trouble, lah. Yeah, later you lose a friend, you know. Hubby not yours, lah. So you won't lose the hubby, but you lose your friend. Yeah, because your friend may feel like, hey, what's your problem? Yeah, my hubby go fishing good. At least don't go to Simpopo bar or something. Huh? Yeah. My husband go fishing with the cousin one. Now they have a good time. Now COVID-19 cannot go to shopping center. They go fishing, go to the jetty by themselves, then sit down there whole day. I don't have to worry about them. Yeah. I can check GPS down there. Ding ding. Yeah. So I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is whether your friend think that fishing is good or bad. Yeah. You may need to ask yourself, are you able to convince your friend that it's bad? If you cannot even convince your friend that it's bad, forget about your friend's hobby. Yeah. This may sound like, you mean, Sifu, you're not even, like if it's your case, you're not even going to try? No, I'm not going to try. Yeah. If it is not going to succeed, you try, then the person end up with a bad impression or wrong impression of the Dharma. Yeah. That's why you don't see me go around, knock on people's door. Hey, do you want to listen to Dharma talk? Monks don't know that, right? We don't just go around, ding dong. Hi, I'm Venerable Chongguan. Yeah, I'd like to share with you the Anguttara Nikaya. Would you like to listen to? No, we don't do that. Yeah, because that is unsolicited. Unsolicited things are difficult. Yeah. Okay. I think to some extent this applies to many of us. Because as we learn Dharma, we find that we start to see things more clearly. We start to see things that we used to think is of value, but now we start to see that there are dangers in it. There are problems related to it. But then when you turn around, then you realize that your family members, your friends, or your friend's hobby, is going in the direction that will lead to their own harm now and in the future. And then out of compassion, out of care, you try to see what you can do. But then the question is, will they accept it? So let me summarize. The first thing is your relation. Yeah, this may seem strange, because most of the time we think this is the truth. No, let me get this out of the way. People don't listen to you because it's the truth. Many times, okay. Of course, not all the time. Sometimes people listen to you because it is the truth. It makes sense. But many times it's also how they relate to you. For example, if now every day instead of Zoom, right, we are doing it together. And if every day when you come to the center, I give you a slap, then we do puja, then I give you a slap. See how happy you are to listen to even my voice. If Sifu keep on giving you a slap, you just hear, Venerable Changguan, like what? Or you already, you have heart palpitation. Why? Because of that bad experience. That don't tell me about variable chocolate. Oh, why? What happened? You don't know, huh? There was a period of time he slapped everybody, no? No, that time he was trying to purify your karma. You didn't realize that all of them who get slapped never get COVID-19. No. Please, in case anybody read this, watch this, please, this is half a joke, but to illustrate a point, okay? Not telling you that slapping, you ask a monk to slap you, then you don't get COVID-19. Please, I tell you, without me saying this, there are some people who have this kind of crazy ideas. Oh, please, yeah. So the point is, one, your relation with whoever you want to give the message is very important. Then two, you have to ask yourself how you're going to say it. It's like the past suttas that I've gone through, right? Go through the list before you speak. Yeah, but in this case, why do I highlight the friend? Because that is closer to you. Yeah. So before you share Dharma, consider all these things first. Yeah. If you are a good friend with the person, very good relation, higher chance of success. Okay? Any other questions? If not, put your palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dharma and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. As always.
乖乖。
Okay, so have a what kind of day shall we have today? What kind of day do you all want today?
Peaceful day.
Peaceful day. Okay. Have a peaceful day ahead. By giving other people's peace. Otherwise, so easy. You don't give people peace, you want to have peace. All right. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye. And happy birthday, Lao Ma.
Oh, happy birthday, Auntie.
Thank you. Thank you, Sifu.
Thank you. You must come down, let people see your face lah.
Wow, so beautiful today.
Thank you.